Hello world, my name is Tyler with Microduino, and in this video I'm going to show you how you can find, download, and install the Microduino IDE. IDE stands for Integrated Development Environment. Sounds technical, right? It's just a fancy term that we use to describe a program where you can review and write your own code. And just so you know, while we're clearing things up, the Microduino IDE is the Arduino IDE. But by downloading the Microduino IDE, you will be outfitting yourself with everything that you need in order to use Microduino modules, including the example code, board definitions, and libraries. Alright, let's take a look at the Microduino website. Go to Microduino Inc., spelled with a C.com. Looking at the right of the page, you will see a tab called Resources. Hover over Resources until you see the drop-down menu. Select Download. You are now at the Downloads page. Scroll down and you will find the Mac Microduino IDE download button located just below the Windows download button. If your computer is running 10.7 Lion or newer, please use the download link on the top. Otherwise, for computers using Snow Leopard 10.6 or older, please use the bottom link. To check what operating system you are currently running, simply click on the Apple logo in the top left-hand corner. Click on About This Mac. A window will appear displaying the version of software you are currently running on your computer. Sierra is 10.12, which is newer than Snow Leopard 10.6. I will be selecting the IDE 1.6.9 for Mac. Now that the download has finished, we can open up and begin installing. If you happen to get an error message like this one, don't worry. We'll make a couple adjustments to your privacy settings and we'll get back on track. Go to System Preferences. Look for the house-shaped icon, click on Security and Privacy. On the bottom left-hand corner, you will see a lock icon. Please click on that icon and type in your computer's admin password to allow changes to your settings. Now you may change the setting from App Store to App Store and identify developers. Go ahead and click the lock to lock the changes and hit the back button to finalize. We are now ready to open our DMG file. It's best practice to always read the README file. Often, the README file is home to helpful installation info. Inside, you will find a link to the Wikipedia tutorial. In addition to this guide, the wiki page has a wealth of information you will find useful as you become a more skilled and knowledgeable programmer. Moving on to the drivers folder, as you recall, the Microduino IDE has all the resources you need pre-installed. However, there are two drivers that will need to be downloaded to ensure the correct serial port mapping occurs. Don't worry, I'll make sure to walk you through this process in extreme detail. The drivers that you're looking at here, the first driver has been divided based upon which operating system you're currently working with. Remember, to find out what operating system you're using, go to About This Mac. I'm currently running Sierra 10.12, so I'm going to select 10.9 to newer. The installation is fairly straightforward, just keep on hitting continue. Type in your admin password and install the software. After you finish installing, you can move to the trash can. Alright, we have one more driver to go and then we can get started. Open the USB TTL-C install folder. Please note that if your computer is running Snow Leopard or older, you can skip this step. Follow the on-screen instructions to install the driver. While we're waiting for this to finish downloading, I want to take a moment to explain what serial mapping ports does. Mapping the serial ports ensures that your computer and the Microduino hardware are properly introduced and are ready to have a conversation. Of course, in reality, you'll learn that there's a lot more going on underneath the hood, as with most things when it comes to programming. But that is a subject for another video entirely. Reboot your computer by clicking the restart button, and then we could dive in the Microduino IDE. Welcome to the Microduino IDE. which probably looks identical to the Arduino IDE. But let me show you what's different between the two. If you go to File and Examples, you will find all the different code provided for mcookie projects. Here we have the windmill, the lighthouse, the 1v1 basketball, and then the classic projects such as Birthday Light, Grumpy Grandpa. The gray text that you see here are called block comments. This information was put here, usually by the creator of the program, to provide insight and information to those who may want to use the application later on. The most important part about setting up your Microduino modules with the Microduino IDE are these three settings: board, processor, and port. I'll go into detail about how you configure each of them depending on what you're working with. I want to show you how we can test to make sure that everything is running like it should with your setup. Go to File, Examples, and click on an mcookie IBC project. I'm going to select Windmill. What we are looking at here is the script for the windmill. This is all the code needed to make the windmill operate as it should. For those of you working with Core USB, I'll explain that now. Go to Tools and go to Board. I will now begin to explain the configuration settings for M battery and Core plus USB TTL. Afterwards, I'll explain Core USB. Looking at the toolbar, select Tools. Go to Board and choose a Microduino/mcookie-device. For processor, you will want to choose the 328P at 16M 5V. And when it comes to your port, it will typically be the last option, which is Microduino/mcookie-device. Now let's try uploading the code to make sure that everything is working. To do that, simply click on this arrow icon to the right of the checkmark icon. Down below, you'll see that it's uploading. When you see Done Uploading, you know that the upload was successful. Congratulations, you just programmed your first Microduino module. For those of you working with Core USB, I'll explain that now. Go to Tools and go to Board. Set your board to Microduino/mcookie-device. Set your processor to Core USB, which is second from the bottom. And last but not least, set your port to Arduino Leonardo. Now click on the arrow icon to begin the upload. Looking at the bottom left-hand corner, you can see that the IDE is working on uploading your code. Now we can see that it's done uploading, which means that the upload was successful. Congratulations, you just programmed your first Microduino module. Where to go from here? Check out the sample code in the IDE. You can find build guides to all the projects on our wiki page. Any questions, you can email me here, or chat us up on the website. Follow us on these social media platforms where we include details about new products. When you're finished with your project, don't forget to share on Idea Lab so other people can see what you built. This includes a Microduino Max setup.